Hello soulmates, welcome. In this video, I'm going to be teaching us how to cut and drop this backless conical asymmetric hemline blouse. So if this is something you're interested in, please stick to the end of the video. So now let's get right into it. I'm going ahead to mark the horizontal lines, which is the shoulder line, the chest line, which is your bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5. Then you add 1 inch to it to get your shoulder slope as well. Then you also place your bust point measurement, your under bust, your waistline, then the blouse length. So the blouse length, you need to determine the length of the blouse that you want to work with. So that depends on your preference. So now I'm going to be placing the shoulder measurement, half of your shoulder measurement on the shoulder line and on the chest line. So you go ahead to roll a straight line across, just as you can see. Then I'm using 1 inch for shoulder slope, then basic neckline of 3 inches for the width. Then you get the midpoint of your shoulder line, then you come in by half of an inch. So this way you're just going to be getting your arm curve or your arm cycle this way, just as you can see. So next up, you are going to be placing half of your nipple to nipple measurement or your bust span. You are going to be placing it on the bust point to up through to the blouse length. You roll a straight line across. So now the intake on both sides I want to use is 0.75. So yours could be more if you're on the busty side. If you are busty, yours could be more. So I'm just going to be marking 0.75 on both sides, just as you can see. Then I'm going to go ahead and roll a straight line across up to the under bust, just as you can see. And I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the bust point this way, just as you can see. Connect the other side as well. So it's a princess dart. So you get the midpoint of your arm cycle or your hammer, then you connect it to the bust point this way, just as you can see. Then you come down by 1 inch, just as you can see. Then you connect it back to the bust point as well. Just make sure that you extend your line above the arm cycle like this, just not 1 inch above. So you are going to be connecting it to the chest line, but I have to take the bust measurement first before connecting it. So now I have taken quarter of my bust measurement. Then your waist measurement, you take it quarter of it plus the dart intake, just as you can see. You take quarter of your hip measurement. You take quarter of your hip measurement plus the dart intake plus 1.5 inches or 2 inches for the conical effect. But in this case I use 1 inch, but please use 1.5 inches or 2 inches. Do you understand? So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the points together. So this way I'm just trying to get the conical effect around the waistline to the hip line to the blouse length this way, just as you can see. So I'm going to go ahead to the armhole, then we connect that part I mentioned earlier to the chest line this way, just as you can see. The difference between the front and back waistline is 1 inch, so that is me taking the bust dart. Connect it to the bust point this way. I'm going to be marking 4.5 inches from the shoulder. I'm going to mark it. This is just serving as a guide. You know that there's a rope and there's like a sort of opening around that part, around the chest area. So at this point I came in by 2.5 inches. Yes, I came in by 2.5 inches, and I also marked 3 inches downward or 2.5 inches. I'm just going to be connecting it this way. It has like a slight curve. Do you get? So I'm using 1.5 inches for the width of the rope, so because this is where your rope will be. Do you understand? So now I'm just going to be connecting this part from that point, connect it to the first dart leg this way, the fourth dart leg of the princess that connected this way. So next thing you can do is you close up the dart so that you can align well, so that you'll be able to connect it to the armhole. So then I'm just going to go ahead and connect it to the armhole this way, just as you can see. So I'm just going to be marking 2 straight lines just to tell you, oh, like this is where the rope is going to be. Do you understand? You are going to be attaching the rope to this point. Do you understand? So next up, we are going to be closing up this dart so we can get the conical effect around the hemline. So at that point I marked about 1 inch, so I connected it to the center front. Now you can just get the midpoint around this part, then come up by 2.5 inches. So you just try to like blend this in. So this is me trying to use a free hand. Do you understand? Just try to like blend it in. So now I'm just going to go ahead and use my ruler to make the points more visible, just as you can see, just to get that conical effect. The conical effect and the asymmetric hemline. You know, it has this design around the hemline, so this is what I'm trying to craft out. So we're almost done with the front pattern, so let's move on to the back pattern this way. So now I've gone ahead to mark the horizontal line, which is the chest line, the waistline, and the blouse length. So the front and back waistline, they are different. So now to get the length of the blouse length, you measure what you have from your front pattern, the waist to the blouse length. Whatever you have, you measure it for the back waist to blouse length. So now at the center back of the waistline, I came in by 0.75. So I connected it to the blouse length and to the chest line. This is because our back is not straight, and so that your zipper can relax well. So now I'm going to be taking the shoulder measurements on the shoulder line and on the chest line. This is actually not necessary because the blouse is a two blouse. The measurements can just start from the chest line. So I'm just going to mark 1 inch for shoulder slope, then 3 inches for the neck width, and just connect it. This part is actually not necessary. Do you understand? So next up, I'm going to be placing that. I'm going to be placing the half of the bust span after the 0.75. Then I'm going to be adding the 0.75 back to that bust span, so that I can have an equal line on the chest line and on the blouse line, so that the lines can be equal, just as you can see. So the dart intake on both sides, I used about 0.75. Yours can be half of an inch. So I'm just going to be come down below the chest line by 1 inch and come up above the waist blouse line by 1 inch. Do you understand? So I'm just going to go ahead and connect the points together this way. You also connect it to the other side. Connect it this way to the other side, as you can see. So I'm going to be placing quarter of the bust measurement on the chest line, then your quarter of your waist measurement plus the dart intake. Do you understand? Then you place your hip measurement plus the 1.5 or 2 inches for the conical effect. Do you understand? But like I said earlier, I use 1 inch for this pattern. But please, when you are doing yours, add 1.5 inch or 2 inches so that I can give you that effect in the picture. Do you understand? So now this is the chest line. You can come down by 0.5 inches if you want it slanted. But if you want it straight, the back straight, you can just maintain the chest line. Do you understand? So I came down by half of an inch. I'm just going to go ahead and label the pattern, just as you can see. So we're not done drafting the back pattern because we also need to get the asymmetric hemline for the back pattern. The one thing we can do is to cut out the front piece. You cut out the front piece, then trace it on the back piece, on the back pattern, I mean. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the front pattern this way. So guys, if you've not liked this video at this point, please kindly do so, and also don't forget to hit on the subscribe button as well. Liking this video allows it to reach a larger audience. Thank you so much. So now I'm just going to be opening up the bust dart because you are going to be closing it up. So when you close it up this way, use your paper tape. Then you also reshape the lines by the side. If the lines are not equal, then you just cut out the excess this way. So now that's the back pattern. So now I'm going to be placing the front side on the back piece. I'm going to be placing it this way, just as you can see. Then I'm just going to try to trace that part. You can see what I'm doing so that it can just sort of align well this way. So you just trace it out this way. That's what I'm doing. So then I'm just going to go ahead and try to blend this front part to the center line, and also just try to make it look a little bit like what is in the picture. So yeah, so this is what we have for the back piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the excess papers that are there. You can see. So you just carefully cut out your pattern. You don't have to like rush the process of cutting. So this is what we'll have. So now I'm going to be placing the front side and the back side, the waistline. I'm going to be placing it on both sides. So this way you would tend to know if you have shortage or excess. So I have shortage on one side, so I'm just going to be cutting the excess out so that it can rhyme well, it can blend, it can be equal. By the time you are sewing, everything can be equal. So now this is what I have for the front piece. So for the center front, you are going to be cutting on fold. For the side front, the side back and the center back, you are going to be cutting about two pieces. And also don't forget the rope. So the rope is going to be at that 1.5 inches that are marked. Then you determine the length of the rope that you want to use.